Okay, so this is going to be my 2015 year retrospect. Forgive me if this is just going to be me 20, 30 minutes just blabbering on how things have been, but I don't do these videos often, and I just want to get my thoughts out on how this year has been. So this will hopefully be the last I use this webcam and I get to use something better. It's been a very emotional year, and I think I should at least talk about some of the goods and bads that happened this year. At least chronicle from beginning to now. See where that starts. Okay, so January was my birthday. I got to spend it with my mom. Eliora came out, and drunk Cards Against Humanity is how I'll put it. It went good for me, but I'm not sure about Eliora. I think that's that visit I was starting to see the cracks in our relationship when she got delayed from a flight due to snow or something. It didn't go as well as I had planned, but I figured, oh well, I'll see her again. And then we had February. My grandpa had to be put back in the hospital. Actually, no, funny enough, a few days after, or I think maybe the day after Eliora left, is when my grandpa had to be put back in the hospital again. And this was the year that he had to get his leg amputated, and he had to be put on pain meds and all this other stuff just so we can get him back home after all the stupid stuff that went down. And yes, it is real. I've had a few people say, "Oh, it's not real." Yes, it is. It is real. I don't like when people say, like, "Oh, all the stuff you went through, it's just a scam. You're such a thief critic." Then, like, seriously, you have nothing better to do with your time than just write up stuff about me? Whatever. So, good news though. By the end of the year, he's doing better. He's supposed to get his prosthetic leg sometime. Ugh, God, my hair! I can't stand this. Sometime next year or whatever. Hopefully, at least he's back home. He almost had to miss Christmas because he had to go back in the hospital again for the whole abscess in his leg thing. But that's for another story. Ignore the hair, guys. I'm sorry. I kind of just woke up like this and I tried to put water on it. I hate that head. I really do. Where was I? Oh, yes. February was a kind of a meh month. I was trying to figure some stuff out, figure what I needed to do. I don't really remember much of February. I do remember March, though. March is when I went to C2E2. And I went to that solely for one day to see CM Punk. Now, people know me, cult of personality, etc. CM Punk's been one of my idols. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, CM Punk is still a pretty important guy. And getting to meet him, getting to talk with him, it was a real honor. And I can cross it off my list as probably one of the best con experiences I had just talking with him. Even though I met him in a bookstore when I was a lot younger, this having photo proof that I met CM Punk. I know he looks a little but he had just dealt with some crappy people in the last session, so he was a little out of it, but he at least said hi, he was polite. He kind of looked out of my plushie just like, "What is that?" It's just like, "It's my character." And he's like, "Huh, okay." He didn't seem to really care, but you know what? Whatever. I got a picture with CM Punk. I could frame that and be happy with it. And I think one of my friends invited me to go to Wizard World Fan Fest, and that's where I met, let's see, Katie Lotz, who is Black Canary on Arrow, Phil Lamar, and Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13. I have not talked about Warehouse 13, but I guarantee you this month I will be talking about Warehouse 13. It is one of my all-time favorite TV shows that not a lot of people have seen, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So, if you're curious, by the way, about the people that I mentioned and about photo proof and whatnot, go to my DeviantArt. I have pictures of all at the cons that I've gone to and the people that I've met. So go ahead, click down there. Saves me a little bit of editing, but you'll see. Now we come, speaking of cons, we come to Babscon. This is my second year coming back to it. First year was pretty good. Second year, not so much. First year, there was a lot of drama behind the scenes that kind of, the convention for me. Someone kind of did that, but this time, I guess I should mention before then, interestingly enough, I got to go to Disney with Dwell Snyder, Keyframe, Golden Fox, Eliora, and Sweetie Bloom. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Getting to go to Disneyland for the first time in years, at Disneyland in California. You can see the whole experience in Will's convention vlog, but it was such a blast getting to go there and hanging out with everybody, and that's what we're going to be doing again pretty soon for Pacific PonyCon. That is going to be fun too. We're going to the other park. Hey, ToonKritic, how do you have so much money to do this? I can already tell people are going to be asking that. Well, it's because it was given as a gift to me. Disneyland ticket gift. And I really shouldn't have to explain, like, what I buy and, like, how much money that I have. I really shouldn't have to, but there are some people out there that apparently want to know, like, oh, you're just using your Patreon money for your con money. I'm sorry, if I keep doing this, it gets annoying. Well, I'm sorry, but people like that annoy me. So, treat people the way you want to be treated? Okay. Golden rule, whatever you guys say. Where was I? Oh, yes. Babscon itself, the panel that I had there was a bit of an eye-opener because it was probably coming off of BronyCon 2014, I needed a good panel to remind me who I am at first. And this is a good one. With Silverquill, Persian, KP, Fox, Keyframe, and Cat. Sorry, Eliora. I keep calling her Cat. That was a very fun experience because I got to meet a lot more cooler SoCal, NorCal Brony reviewers. That panel went over well. Got to meet a few other people too. Marika Hendricks, that was cool too. Ran into a stalker. That was interesting. I don't like stalker fans. I'll say that right now. One uncomfortable fan experience. But, God, I don't really like talking about Babscon. There's some other stuff that went on there. But the panel was a success. I like to think that we all had a good time. I think. Then we come to, in between Babscon and BronyCon, is when me and Eliora broke up. I don't really like talking about that either. It's, we're still friends, but it's just, the way that it went down wasn't exactly the way that I wanted it to. Sort of those things where things just didn't really work out the way that I wanted them to. And I guess maybe that was for the best, because she's with somebody who knows her better than I do, which is, I guess, surprising. I don't know, that relationship with Eliora, it was fun while it lasted. The whole ToonYora thing, I actually kind of enjoyed that, because I think it's because of ToonYora I'm a little bit more well-known. It was behind the scenes, I did the best that I could, but it's just I realized that, something wasn't right. Something didn't feel right about all this. And, I just... Grandpa being in the hospital around that time, just I couldn't really focus. I couldn't really, depression was starting to kick in, anxiety, all this other stuff. It was, it wasn't really fun. You have to consider that I just was not emotionally capable of handling a relationship. I needed to fly solo, because I needed to see if I could actually fly solo, and that's when BronyCon came around. That was another interesting experience. way that I put it. There were some good highs and good lows a part of that as well. For that the Horse Famous contest that Inc. set up brought something new to me. I had not just people who wanted to be a part of the game, but also people who recognize me, who are starting to acknowledge my work. On the Comedy Through Critique panel, that weekend, I felt like I had finally made it. When I got up on KP's big panel with all the other reviewers and getting to be up there with them, I felt like I finally made it. After all those months of where I was and trying to get up to the top and trying to, I guess, to prove myself. And I still, to this day, I still feel like I have to prove myself. I feel like I have something to prove. I feel like I want to belong here and I want to be accepted. And it's hard because you never know, like, the people that are higher up above you, they don't know how they feel about you or whether they to be included in stuff. But I think it was around this time, actually, where the TF2 project was a thing. I think it was a thing. Yeah, it was. I was put on the blue team. And that was interesting because I felt like I was finally a part of something big. I felt like I had finally done something to make it on there. And you see it now, like the whole Seven Nation Army thing, like I'm pretty good. I feel like I belong up there. But I'll get to that in a sec. With BronyCon, the fan recognition and the fan response from everybody just blew me away. It kind of overwhelmed me at first because I'm like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I want to feel like that rush. I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel recognized. I'm not in this for the fame. The fame just came naturally over the time because I'm having fun with this, and people saw that. And it was fun to see how all of it evolved over the year, to where autographs and meeting people and saying, hey, you're one of my favorites. I felt like if I hadn't become a Brony reviewer, I don't think I'd even be here. But here I am. And it feels good to be here. It feels good now in 2016, where I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. I feel like, I belong to something. What was I saying? Okay, sorry, just gotta. Emotionally, around this time, I was not at 100%. I kind of had my own thing, and it showed, and I did something stupid at that con that I really shouldn't have. I still regret it to this day. It was something incredibly fucking... Excuse me, sorry, let that slip. It was incredibly freaking stupid. Came back to bite me recently, and probably won't be able to shake it off for a while, but you make mistakes. 2016 is a fresh new slate, and I'm not going to let anything change that. I'm not going to let anything get in my way on that, and I'm going to show that, ToonKritic is going to keep on going. Onwards and upwards. But the experience at BronyCon, I think, kind of opened my eyes and helped me get out of my depression. I didn't start collabing again, really, until the second half of the year. And I think I pulled off one with, like, Geeky Steve and a Wind Waker, and I felt like, this is alright. I need to get the ball rolling. I feel I'm a bit rusty. Because I hadn't been doing really any collabs throughout the first half of the year because of this, because I was, like, major depression. But when I did my collab with Lightning Bliss, I think I finally got back into the swing of things. How it takes, like, a little bit of time for you to get readjusted to things. And I did. I was able to. I was able to finally get back into what I think I do best. Not what I'm the best at, what I think I do best. And I'm not better than anyone else. I know that. But it's a phrase. It's what you think you're good at and what you think you can excel at. phone. Then I started collabing with Ty and Daga and Mastercode and Doodle Dabble and BronyBuck and Golden Fox and others. I got to be a part of Manga Commons Cavalcade. I got to be a bigger part in the TF2 project, which was also a lot of fun. I think the TF2 project made me realize that I've kind of made it up to that point to where I can be like the blue team and the red team are considered like the most well-known Brony reviewer names in the community, and if you're on there, you know, you've made it to the big leagues. And I felt like, you know, I'm up here. This is good. This represents like a huge part of the community, along with other people that aren't on the blue team or the red team that should be. But then I think what made me start to reconnect with other people was doing Benjo and Bill Zooey's Excellent Adventure. Yeah, the Thomas redub. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do. It was great to see how it turned out. You know, me, Will, and Joey got to do what we do best with redubbing and show that we still got it. Like, you still got it. You know what I mean. And it revitalized me, I think, because I started to feel better about myself, and I started to realize with this, you know, I think this is what I needed to kind of jumpstart me again. Of course, depression still had its hold on me, and I think it still kind of does, but I'm doing a lot better job combating it. And this, I think, this and the TF2 project both brought me back and made me realize what I need to do. So coming into Ponyville Cider Fest, I knew what I needed to do. I knew that this would be a con to try something different at. Didn't quite go as well as I had expected. I want to say that when we did our panel on a Friday afternoon, there was barely anybody there. This may seem odd for me to say, but it was kind of embarrassing. Me, Josh, and Nikki had like our entrance videos and stuff, and it was a dead reaction. There was like maybe a small handful of people there, and I like playing up to a big audience. I like to think that as time's gone by, you know, with BronyCon 2014 and Babscon and BronyCon 2015, I thought, hey, maybe I can do this, you know? That kind of shot me down by a lot, seeing that barely anybody was there. Maybe it's because we were competing against Brony's Reactor. Maybe I didn't advertise Josh correctly for it. But it was then that I realized that my name didn't really have as much star power to it as I thought on its own. Or even me and Nikki combined. I know I should be grateful that anyone showed up at all. But it kind of hurts seeing when you work hard and you have little to show for it. I was so embarrassed watching the panel footage. We had like all the stuff we energized, but nobody was reacting to it. And I thought, okay, what am I doing wrong here? I kept this in over the whole weekend. You know, me, Josh, and Nikki, and, you know, John and Viva, we had fun that weekend, but that panel there just, it was shocking, because I didn't understand. Was I doing something wrong? Like, all these cons that I've gone to and panels that I've done, and I can barely attract an audience on my own. I didn't understand. Of course, that's really when things started to get worse. I started thinking, I guess I'm not good enough. I guess what I'm doing, either my panel's not interesting or my name doesn't have enough drawing power to it. Maybe the idea is not interesting. Lord knows what's going to happen in Winnie City by myself. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to end up going into a panel where I can barely do anything. It's just, you know what? I'll save that for later. I'm not going to start up a pity party or anything. I guess the other thing as well were the solo videos that I ended up doing. I needed to start doing solo stuff so people would see that the biggest problem that I had that year was I had so many people telling me that all you're doing is riding other people's coattails. You're not good enough on your own. You're not. That you're only good with collabing and that you don't. All you do is sit in front of a webcam unscripted and just talk, and you think that's worthy of all your Patreon stuff. So I did, the importance of backstory with the Camelot Wedding, and I did the MLP Comics issue 29 and the Doctor Who's piece. That went over really well. I was glad about that. But even now, coming into 2016, I feel like I have to do a lot more. I feel like I have to establish who I am. Because I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to get any further doing just this. I need to find something that can make this work. I need to get. I know it seems like I'm an attention seeker and I'm a fame seeker and stuff. But it's only up there. It's where I feel like I belong. I feel when I'm up on stage, when I feel that rush from the crowd, when I feel up there, I feel like I'm alive. It's kind of like from Steven Universe, I'm just a comet. I feel really connected to that song. I feel like I belong on that stage in front of that crowd. It's what I do best, entertaining. But when there's barely anybody there, I even had a few people say, wow, I guess you must not have drawn a big enough crowd or something. If I'm a community guest, if I've earned this status, it needs to show. And if I can't show that, then what good am I? This is what I've been battling all year, and I don't know how to feel about it. Even with all the work that I do, I can't compete with the likes of Silver or Doc or Josh or Fox or Bliss or Voice or all these other higher ups. I'm doing the best that I can just being myself. And I thought, hey, I don't have to compete. I don't have to be anybody but me. That's all I need to be, just me. Oh, cult of personality, and it'll show. But it feels like no matter all I've done this year, I've gotten further, but there's something in my way, and I don't know how to get past it. YouTube-wise, it's been a struggle. Behind the scenes-wise, with my friends, there's been some struggle as well. But I'm walking into this year with a bunch of new people under my belt. One of which is going to be a potential girlfriend. And the other is a guy that I've met, Alex, who has done a lot of good so far in my life. Lightning Bliss has been a great big sister to me. Shanae is the brown mare that you keep seeing, but I'll reveal more about her as the months go by. I'm sorry if this video came off as depressing or solemn or something like that. I know I try to show myself as the cult of personality, and I know that's more of a persona. But you guys deserve the best that I can be. Without you guys, I don't know where I would be. And I'm grateful that I've gotten to this point. I can only go higher from here, and I want to. And I've got to step up my work. If I haven't said thank you guys enough, well, I should. I hope I'm not viewed as less for wanting to seek more. One person said I had Disney Princess Syndrome. But the only way you're going to get higher is if you want more. You have to show that you want more. And I want to show that I belong here. That I can make good work, good content. Show that at the end of the day, like, that I didn't ride people's coattails, that I worked to get this on my own, and I want to show that. I want you guys to know that 2016 is going to be a big year, and I'm going to push as far and as fast as I can, because come BronyCon, there's going to be, for the 4th year, I'm going to show that I'm worthy, that I can do this. And, you know, only go higher from here. I'm sorry if I've been rambling. This has been the year. It's been a very emotional year. It's been a long year. But hopefully we're going to start off 2016 with a good start. That sounded redundant, but whatever. You know, you guys made this worth it. Thank you all for watching. I hope this year turns out good. I hope it does, because I don't want to have to go through all the I don't want to have to go through a lot of the pain that happened this year. Last year, I should say. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys for the next video. Stay awesome, and leave your comments, I guess, or whatever. I had jungled around saying, oh, I'll just ask you guys in the comments, what do you all honestly think of me, and what can I do to improve? But that sounded a little egotistical to say. I've been trying to keep my ego in check, especially after Cider Fest, where I realized that ego needs to go down. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to ask, what do you all honestly think of me, and how can my work improve? What would you like to see improve? I guess I need your guys' support for that. So, that takes care of that. See you guys in the next video.